Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of 2. I will actually call on you to first of all click on the notifications and subscribe so that you will not be left out on any of the notifications that will be leaving out to all the other students to help them revise the GC. So just click on the subscription button and the notifications. Now let's begin the second part of this paper. A business class lady, Cindy and Lizzie, that's Lizzie and Cindy respectively, contribute the sum of 750,000 francs and 1 million francs as partners to a business. At the end of 6 months, they are joined by another business class lady called Mandy, who contributes the sum of 500,000 francs. At the end of the first year, a profit of 1 million francs was realized. Of this profit, Lizzie gets a salary of 300,000 francs as manager and Cindy 200,000 francs as assistant. Find the profits remaining, that is A. Find the profits remaining after these salaries are paid. So the profit is 1 million and the manager takes 300,000 and the assistant 200,000. So the remaining profit is 1 million minus the sum of those two. That gives us 500,000. B. Of the remaining profit, a tenth is put into an emergency fund. Find the amount put into the emergency fund. So 10% of this remaining amount of 500,000 is put into the emergency fund, and that gives us 50,000. C. Find the profit then remaining. So when you subtract this 50,000 from the 500,000 that is left, we have 450,000. D. The remaining profit, that is the 450,000, is then shared in proportion to what each contributed and the time for which the money has been available. Find the simplest ratio: Lizzie's share to Cindy's share to Mandy's share. Though I did not note before, at the beginning of the question they said Lizzie and Cindy contributed that and they did not say respectively. When a question is given like this, assume they respectively. So indeed, this proportion depends on two variables. It is proportional to the amount contributed and proportional to the time. So we look at for Cindy's share, she has 750,000 and the amount has been there for 1 year. So 750,000 times 1 gives us 750,000. For Cindy, she contributed 1 million and it has been there for 1 year. So 1 million times 1 gives us 1 million. For Mandy, she contributed 500,000 and it has been there for 6 months or half a year. So the proportion is 500,000 times a half, which is 250,000. Therefore, the ratio of Lindsay to Cindy to Mandy will be 750,000 is to 1 million is to 250,000. And the highest common factor here is 250,000. So we divide all through by 250,000, giving us the simplest ratio to be 3:4:1. E. Calculate the share each person receives in total. So in total, the first person is the manager, that is Lizzie, who first of all received 300,000. Then she now receives from this sharing of the remaining profit, she receives 3 parts out of 8 parts of the 450,000. That's what's left, giving her 468,750 francs. Then we have for Cindy, assistant manager, who receives 200,000 plus 4 out of 8 parts of the 450,000, giving her 425,000. And Mandy, who did not receive anything as manager, she's not a manager actually, she receives 1 part out of 8 parts times these 450,000, giving her 56,250 FCFE. The B part of question 1 reads, on a particular rainy day, the depth of rainfall was 15.4 millimeters. The rain, which fell on a horizontal roof measuring 7.5 meters by 3.6 meters, was collected into a cylindrical tank of radius 35 centimeters, which was empty before the start of the rain. Calculate A, the volume in cm cube that fell on the roof. So the volume in cm cube that fell on the roof is given by length times width times height. The height here is the depth. And note that some of these values have been given in meters, some in centimeters and some in millimeters. But these questions wants us to give the answer in centimeters. So we are going to convert everything to centimeters so that our conversion or our multiplication will be easy and consistent. So that gives us 750 centimeters times 360 centimeters times 1.54 centimeters, and that gives us 415,800 cm cube. Note that 1 meter is 100 centimeters and 10 millimeters make 1 centimeters for the conversions. The height of water in the tank, that is B, to calculate the height of water in the tank. So this water in this tank has a total volume of 415,800 cm cube, and the radius of this tank has been given in the equation as 35 centimeters. So the volume will be given by pi radius squared times height, and from here height will be equal to volume divided by pi times the square of radius. So when you put in these values, you have the height of 15.43 centimeters. Note that everything has to be in cm cube. The units will be consistent. C. If a watering tank holds 5 liters of water, how many times could it be filled completely by the rainwater from the tank? This water tank that you use in watering the garden, that's what they're talking about here. Let's say it's 5 liters. If it's 5 liters and the total volume of what has been collected is 415,800 cm cube, then we can get the number of times that's been filled. But the volume of the tank of the can here has been given in liters, so you have to convert from that liters to cm cube, and we know that 1 liter is equal to 1000 cm cube, or 1 liter is also the same as 1 cm cube. So but we're working with cm cube, we will have 5 liters to be giving us 5000 cm cube, so that will give us 415,800 cm cube divided by 5000 cm cube, and it will fill it 83.16 times. Question 2. Two functions f and g are defined on the set of real numbers as f such that x mapped onto 3x plus 5 and g such that x mapped onto x minus 1 and 4, expressed in a similar manner g inverse and g of f of x. Similar manner means in the same mapping form that has been used in the equation. So to look for g inverse of x, we let y to be equal to f of x, and that gives us y to be equal to 3x plus 5. Actually, for g of x, we let y to be equal to x minus 1 and 4, and y equals x minus 1 and 4. That will give us 4y to be equal to x minus 1, and solving for x will give us 4y plus 1. Therefore, g inverse is such that x is mapped onto 4x plus 1. That's the inverse function. And for the composite function g of f of x becomes f of x minus 1 on 4, but f of x is 3x plus 5, so that gives us 3x plus 4 on 4. That is the composite function. B. Solve the equation g of f of x equals 2. So we just equate this g of f of x, the composite function, to 2, and that will give us 3x plus 4 on 4 equals minus 2, 3x plus 4 equals minus 8, 3x will be equal to minus 12, and x equals minus 4. Question 2, B, we have, that is the C part rather, we have the range of the function f defined over that domain. We know that f of x is the function 3x plus 5, so we take each of those elements and look for their images. F of 0 will give us 5, f of 1 will give us 8, f of 2 will give us 11, and f of 3 will give us 14. Therefore, the range, which is the set of all of these images, will be equal to the set 5, 8, 11, 14. The second part of the B of question 2 reads, a survey was conducted by the GCE board in 2019 on GCE candidates selected at random in math, French, and English. The survey showed that 55 students passed in maths, 53 students passed in French, 79 passed in English, 18 passed in both maths and French, 17 passed in both maths and English, and 15 passed in all 3 subjects. A. Draw a Venn for the above information. The advice here is that in drawing this Venn, make sure you always start from the center, and from the center we have the intersection of all 3 subjects. So 15 passed in all 3 subjects. The next thing is 17 passed both maths and English. Here 17 passing both maths and English, we already have 15 passed all 3. So for the 17, how many are left? We have just 2. So for maths and English, we have 15 is already there, so we now have 2. Then 18 passed in math and French. We know that 15 passed all 3 subjects. So for math and French, from this 18 we are left with 3. That gives us 18. Then 79 students passed in English. So the total for English to be 79, but we already have for English, already have 15 and 2 here. That gives us 17. So from 79, how many are left? We will have 62. 53 students passed in French. 53 passed in French, but you already have 18 of them in this rectangle, in the circle representing French. So how many will be left? We have 35 left, and we are told that 55 students passed in math. But in the circle representing math, you already have 15 plus 3 plus 2, that's 20. So we have 35 left to make it 55. So that's the Venn diagram, and the universal set is indicated as U. B, hence or otherwise, find the number of students who pass math only. For math only, we have this section in math that is not having an intersection in any of the other circles. So 35 pass in math only. French, math and French, but not English. So math and French, but not English. Math and French, but not English. We have 3 students. Then the number of students interviewed, math and French, but not English, is like math and French only. Number of students interviewed is the number of elements in the universal set. That gives us the sum of all of these entries, which you have 35 plus 3 plus 35 plus 15 plus 2 plus 62, giving us 152. Expressed in ordinary English, M intersection E intersection F prime equals X. This one means the number of students who pass in math and English but not French. Math and English but not French equals X. So math and English but not French means X students passed in math and English but not French. So that's it for this question. We now move to question 3. Given that y equals x squared plus 2x minus 3, draw a table of values for x and y in the interval from minus 5 to 3. Note that in this interval we consider the whole numbers. So since the table has been given, we just fill in the values of x from minus 5 to 3. We have minus 5, minus 4, minus 2, minus 1, that's the 3. Then we take each of the values for the y. The y has x squared plus 2x minus 3. We take the x squared and put on the table, plus 2x on the table, minus 3 on the table, and the last value down gives us the y. Now for the x squared, we take each x value and square it. So minus 5 squared is 25, minus 4 squared is 16, minus 3 squared is 9, up to 3 squared, which is 9. Then the next thing is to take each of them and multiply by 2, that is the 2x. So minus 5 times 2 is minus 10, minus 4 times 2 is minus 8, up to 3 times 2, which is 6. Then the next value on column 1, row 4, is minus 3, which is a constant. So we just add this constant all through. And to have the values of y, we sum from the value of x squared to the value of minus 3. So we have 25 minus 10 minus 3 gives us 12. 16 minus 8 minus 3 gives us 5. 9 minus 6 minus 3 gives us 0. 4 minus 4 minus 3 gives us minus 3. Up to, we have 9 plus 6 minus 3 giving us 12. And we are being told in B that taking 1 centimeter equals 1 unit on both axes, sketch y equals f of x. So the scale has been given to us. 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. Make sure that in sketching your graph, it occupies like 3/4 of the page. It's very visible. Though the scale has been given here like this, and then try to centralize it as well. So I have made my scale. You have from that, and you see that the range for the y, the larger portion is from 0 to 12. So I make that larger portion to be upwards, and you have the smaller portion from 0 to minus 4. The same with the x. And I now plot the points as you can see being shown. We have the points x minus 5 and 12, 4 and 5, minus 3 and 0, minus 2 and 3, right up to 3 and 12. We now use a smooth line to link these points to have this equation. C part, hence from your graph, solve the equation y equals 0. Y equals 0 just means the x-intercept. So the curve cuts the x-axis at the points where x equals minus 3 and where x equals 1. As you can see, it has been indicated. D, state the line of symmetry, the minimum value of y and the minimum turning point. The line of symmetry is the point. You can just get the value of the points where the curve cuts the x-axis. You have minus 3 plus 1, that is minus 2 divided by 2, which is minus 1. So you can actually see the line of symmetry is indicated by this arrow, looking at the minimum turning point or the minimum value of y. A vertical line that passes there passes at minus 1. So that is the line of symmetry, and the minimum value of y, you can see, is minus 4 from the graph. So the turning point is given by the line of symmetry, which is minus 1 comma the minimum value of y, minus 4. E, by drawing a suitable straight line on the same graph, solve the equation x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So the shortcut here, my dear students, is to say old equation minus new equation, that will give you the line. So the line y is given by the old equation, that's the original equation that we were solving, minus this new equation, and that will give us minus x minus 5. So that is the line you are supposed to draw. That's the suitable straight line. And since the line, when x is 0 on this line, y is minus 5, and when y is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 5. So this is the line. When you plot this line, you can see the line shown on the graph above, and it cuts that other curve at the point when x is equal to minus 1 and when x is equal to minus 2. So that is the solution of this equation by drawing that suitable straight line. The next part of this question, using only a pencil, a ruler, and a pair of compasses, draw the triangle ABC such that AB is 8 centimeters, BC is 5 centimeters, and AC is 6 centimeters. It's always good that the longest one should be horizontal. As you can see, AB is 8 centimeters. You use a ruler and a pencil, and you indicate the points A and B, as you can see being shown, which is 8 centimeters. The next thing is to bisect. By bisecting, draw an incircle in the triangle ABC with center at O. For an incircle, you do angle bisection. You bisect two or more of the angles. So I bisected the angle at A and the angle at B, and the center at that point is indicated O, as the question stipulates. And from that center at O, we now make a circle passing, touching the points or touching the lines AC, AB, and BC. And these lines are actually tangents to this circle, because this circle is what type of circle? It's an incircle. Then they say make another bisection to make a second circle with center at H. So for a second circle, we bisect by the lines that form the triangle ABC. So I'm going to bisect AB, and I've also bisected AC, and the center there is at H. And from that center at H, I now form another circle, a second circle, so that the circles are not actually concentric. The centers are at different points. Now they said you should write down the values of the radius, or the radii rather. So for the smaller circle, the radius is small r, which is approximately 1.7 centimeters. Note, if you have 1.6 or 1.8, there is an allowance. You are still correct, because there must be some sort of differences, slight deviations. And the radius of the bigger circle is 4 centimeters. Some people, it depends on how accurate you are, you can even have 4.1 or 3.9. Still okay. There's an allowance in the marking, or some sort of variation. So the smaller radius is 1.7 and the bigger one is 4 centimeters. Now we are being asked to calculate r plus r and r minus r. That's big R and small r respectively. So that gives me 5.7 centimeters and 2.3 centimeters. Normally asking this question, they want us to use in the next. Calculate the area of the ring formed by the two circles. So the area of the ring is given by the area of the bigger circle, that's the second circle, minus that of the incircle. So that gives us pi capital R squared minus pi small r squared. We can factorize to have pi into capital R squared minus small r squared, and that is the same as pi into big R plus small r times big R plus minus small r, as they call it. That's capital R and small r. And the values you have calculated up there become very useful. Now that is r plus r and r minus r. When you substitute into this equation, we have the values of the ring to be equal to 41.19 centimeters squared. That's the area of the ring. Now question 4, sub 1 reads, in an experiment in GBHS Boya, 50 science students obtained the following measurements of length in millimeters as shown on the frequency distribution table. Find the mode mean and the median of the distribution. So the mode here, we just have to look at the statistic with the highest frequency, that is 51, having a frequency of 17. So the mode is 51 millimeters. the median. To find the median, there are 50 students, so the median occur at the 25th and the 26th position, the average. So it occurs in between, but there is no number at that position in between. So you take the number at the 25th position plus that at the 26th position, and we divide by 2. From the cumulative frequency, you can see that the 25th and the 26th positions are both occupied by 51 millimeters and 51 millimeters. So we have 51 millimeter plus 51 millimeter divided by 2. That gives us 51 millimeters as well. Then find the mean. To find the mean, we take each score and multiply by its frequency. So 47 times 2 is 94. 48 times 1 is 48. Right down to 53 times 3, which is 159. And the summation of each score times the frequency gives us 2534. When divided by the sum of frequencies is 50, that gives us the mean to be 50.68. Then we are being told to, that is the next part of the equation. So let us note the values we have here. We have the summation of each square times its frequency to be 2534. And to calculate the standard deviation, which is being asked in the B part of the equation, we take each score minus the mean, because they have said you should approximate to the nearest whole number. So we have a 51, that's 50.68 approximated will give us 51. So x minus mean all squared times the frequency. So we take the first one, 47 minus 51 squared times 2 will give us 32. 48 minus 51 all squared times 1 will give us 9. 49 minus 51 squared times 6 will give us 24. Right down to 53 minus 51 squared times 3 will give us 12. And when we sum all of that, we have 98. So we are going to use that now in the next question. And for the equation equal that talks about the quartiles. The quartiles, we have to look at the cumulative frequency. We have 50 of these students. So for the quartiles, we have the lower quartile is the same as the 25th percentile. And 25% of 50 is 12.5. So the lower quartile occur at there between the 12th and the 13th position. And that will give us all of them fall at 50. So the lower quartile is 15. The mid quartile is the same as the median. The mid quartile is the same as the median, or the same as the semi-interquartile range. And the mid quartile occurs at the 25th and 26th position. As we already saw, this mid quartile is called the median and is 51 millimeters. The mid quartile is indicated Q2. Then the upper quartile, which is the 75th percentile, indicated Q3, is 3/4 of 50. That gives us 37.5. And 37.5 occurs at the 37th and 38th position, the average. And that gives us 52 millimeters. Now let's move to the next question and use these statistics. So expressing the mean to the nearest whole number, find the standard deviation. So the variance, first of all, is given by the sum that we had there was 98 divided by 50. That gives us 1.96. And the standard deviation is the square root of 1.96, which is 1.4. Make a cumulative frequency column. You have already done it as you saw. And calculate the interquartile range, interquartile range, and the 50th or the 50th percentile. So the lower quartile, as we said before, was 50 millimeters. The upper quartile is 52 millimeters, and the mid quartile, which is the median, is 51 millimeters. Interquartile range is upper quartile minus lower quartile, which is 52 minus 50, giving us 2 millimeters. And the semi-interquartile range is just the median or the 50th percentile, which is 51 millimeters. Now, a student is chosen at random from the group. Find the probability that the student scored exactly 51 millimeters. Now, 17 students scored 51 millimeters. So the probability that the student has 51 millimeters is 17 on 50. More than one. From the cumulative frequency, we had 36 students having a score of up to 51. So of more than 51, you have the remaining student. That will be 50 minus 36, giving us 14 on 50. When you simplify, you have 7 on 25. And the last part of question 4, please don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments and click on notifications so that you will not be left out on any updates that will be giving out to the students. So the B part of the question reads, in a triangle OAB, it is known that OX equals to thirds of OA and Y is the midpoint of AB. If Z is a point of OB produced such that OB equals BZ, given that OA equals small a and OB equals small b, find AB, XY, YZ in terms of AB. Well, the intention of the question was also to ask for students to show that the line as well x, y and y, z, or the two lines lie, or the lines lie on the same or on each other. Well, that was left out. So let us start by looking at xy. And anyway, we start by looking at AB, and AB is head minus tail, that is OB minus OA, that gives us B minus A. XY will be equal to, from the diagram, x to y will be equal to XA plus AY, but XA is 1/3 of OA, that's 1/3 of small a, plus AY. Now AY, since the point from A to Y is a half of OB, so plus half AB, and AB is B minus A, so you have 1/3 A plus a half into B minus A. When we simplify, you will have minus A plus 3B on 6. Then for YZ, to move from Y to Z, we have to move from Y to B, or that is the same as a half AB plus BZ, but BZ is the same as OB, so that gives us a half into B minus A plus B, and when we simplify, that's the value that we have. Thank you so much for watching, and we wish you the best as you prepare for your exams. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your notifications, and share the videos. If you have any other question or you have a remark or a point, you can leave your comments. Visit us on www.gcemathpanel.blogspot.com. Visit us on YouTube on GCE Math Panel on YouTube rather, and you can leave an email on gcemathpanel@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.